You know what needs to be done. You've thought about it, planned for it, and yet, somehow it remains untouched. Hours pass, days slip by, and that one task still lingers on your mind. But what if the issue isn't your motivation? What if it's your mindset? In just a few minutes, I want to share a shift, a subtle change in how you think, that can move you to act, even when you don't feel ready. Because if you don't make this shift, you might keep watching your potential fade. Slowly, silently, one day at a time. So let me ask you, how long will you let fear keep you stuck? How long will you let doubt rewrite your story before you even live it? Every time you say, not yet, every time you wait for the perfect moment, you're quietly chipping away at your chances of success. Today we're going deeper, not just into productivity tips, but into the uncomfortable truths we avoid, the stories we tell ourselves, and the fears that shape our decisions. What if I told you that discomfort isn't the enemy, but the path? And what if by leaning into it, you could unlock more than just productivity, but power, clarity, and peace of mind? If this message resonates with you, a simple click on that subscribe button helps us reach more minds ready for change. Now let's begin. Ever feel trapped by procrastination? You're not alone. It's easy to think it's about laziness or lack of willpower. But at its core, procrastination is emotional. It's fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being perfect. It's your mind's way of protecting you from pain, rejection, or discomfort. It offers you the illusion of safety by avoiding the task altogether. But as Carl Jung once said, what you resist not only persists but grows. The more we avoid, the bigger and heavier the task becomes in our minds. Anxiety grows, stress builds, and we reinforce the fear we tried to escape. The Stoics understood this too. They taught that it's not the event that overwhelms us, but our judgment of it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." That's a powerful truth. It's not the task that holds us back, but our perception of it. So what can we do? First, recognize procrastination for what it is, a defense mechanism. Understand that most of your hesitation isn't about the task. It's about the fear surrounding it. Next, take small steps. The Stoics advised us to focus only on what's within our control. Break the task down. Shrink the mountain into a single step. Then take that step. Every bit of progress builds confidence. Each action quiets the fear. Mistakes? They're not proof of failure. They're signs of growth. Jung said it well. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And when you do, you stop fearing imperfection. Now here's a simple tool. The 5-minute rule. Set a timer. Pick one task. Do it for just 5 minutes, nothing more. Start writing. Clean one drawer. Outline one idea. That's it. 5 minutes sounds small, and that's the point. It lowers the barrier to entry. But once you begin, something happens. Momentum. It becomes harder to stop than it was to start. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect. We remember unfinished tasks. Our minds stay engaged, which makes it easier to keep going. This isn't just a hack. It's a mindset rooted in ancient wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, concentrate on what's in front of you. Do it with genuine effort. Nothing more. That's exactly what the 5-minute rule offers. A chance to show up for just the next 5 minutes. Not for the whole mountain, just the first step. Even Jung echoed this. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. One small, meaningful action can outweigh an entire day of avoidance. You're not aiming for perfect. You're aiming to begin. This mindset breaks the cycle. It transforms dread into momentum, and momentum into progress. When you're staring up at a massive project, it's easy to feel like you're at the base of a mountain. The top seems impossible, but no mountain is climbed all at once. It's one step, then another. Break it down. Simplify. This isn't just good productivity advice. It's a life philosophy. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Use your time wisely, not by rushing, but by showing up fully for the moment in front of you. Start small, start messy, but start, because your potential is real, and it's waiting on the other side of hesitation. When we look at a task as one giant whole, it can feel overwhelming. This isn't just a feeling, it's something cognitive psychology has studied extensively. When tasks seem too big, our brains treat them like a threat. But when we break them down into smaller, more manageable pieces, we're far more likely to get started. Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." And that's the key. By breaking a project into small, clear actions, you move closer to becoming someone who gets things done, not just someone who plans to. Take writing a report, for instance. Seeing "write report" on your to-do list can feel paralyzing. It's vague. It's heavy. It looms over you. But if you reframe it as, pick a topic by Tuesday, write 300 words for the intro by Wednesday, suddenly it's not so intimidating. Now it's a series of small wins waiting to happen. This simple shift gives you a roadmap, and every checkpoint you hit fuels momentum. Those small wins, they lift your energy, they build morale, and that motivation keeps stacking up. It's not just theory. The Zeigarnik effect in psychology tells us we remember incomplete tasks more than the ones we've finished. Why does that matter? Because each little step you complete lightens the mental load. Progress becomes visible, tangible, encouraging. This approach is also at the heart of agile methodology in software development. It's about progress through small, quick iterations. Do, learn, adjust, repeat. It's way more effective than realizing a mistake after grinding through a huge chunk of work. Each small task builds momentum. Step by step, the project unfolds. As the ancient Chinese philosopher Laozi said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." That's not just a poetic line. It's a strategy for real-world progress. Every small action is like a brushstroke in a massive painting. On its own, it may not seem like much, but together, those strokes create a masterpiece. Now let's talk about motivation. Have you ever sat around waiting for the spark to hit? Waiting to feel ready? Here's a truth that flips everything. Action comes before motivation. We're often taught that motivation is the starting point. You wait to feel inspired, then you act. But in reality, that's backwards. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for sunshine during a storm. You can't count on it. But if you start, even with a tiny step, something incredible happens. You build momentum. Progress creates motivation. And that cycle keeps feeding itself. This isn't just feel-good advice. It's grounded in behavioral psychology. There's a concept called behavioral activation. It means when you take action, even a small one, your mood and energy improve. And that makes you want to keep going. Carl Jung had it right. You are your actions, not your intentions. And the Stoics would agree. Don't wait. Don't overthink. Just begin. Stoic philosophy offers a powerful foundation for this approach. The Stoics emphasized focusing on what's within your control and taking decisive action, not getting stuck in emotional loops or paralyzed by outside circumstances. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the very challenges we face can fuel our progress. By confronting obstacles head-on, we build momentum. What once seemed like a barrier becomes the very path forward. But how does this actually show up in everyday life? Think back to a time when you did something simple like cleaning your desk. At first, you probably didn't feel like doing it. But once you started, something shifted. Before long, you weren't just tidying up, you were reorganizing your whole workspace. That small action sparked motivation, and that motivation fueled more action. This is the essence of the progress principle. Even small wins in meaningful areas boost your mood, your energy, and your drive. Your brain rewards progress, however minor, by releasing dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure and motivation. Feels good, so you keep going. So here's the key takeaway. Don't wait to feel motivated, start moving. Whether you're beginning a new project, facing a tough task, or chasing a long-term goal, the simple act of starting can shift your entire state. You go from stuck to moving, from passive to engaged. Each small step you take makes the next one easier. Want to make it even easier? Start small. The smaller the action, the lower the resistance. And once you begin, you create a feedback loop of progress and motivation. Now, let's introduce a tool that blends ancient wisdom with modern psychology. Visualization. This isn't about wishful thinking or magical outcomes. It's a strategy, a mental rehearsal for success. When you visualize yourself achieving a goal, you're doing more than daydreaming. You're engaging the same neural circuits in your brain that fire when you actually perform the task. That's why athletes visualize their performance before a big game. They see themselves nailing the jump, hitting the shot, crossing the finish line. This mental preparation builds confidence and enhances real-world performance. But this technique isn't just for athletes. You can use it for anything. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself succeeding. Picture the finished project, the accomplished goal, the moment of pride. Feel it. See it in detail. This mental blueprint helps your brain begin to treat success as not just possible, but expected. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist, persists," meaning, whatever you focus on grows in your mind. So why not focus on positive outcomes? Even the Stoics practiced their own form of visualization, premeditatio malorum, the anticipation of challenges. They would imagine potential setbacks in advance, so they could be mentally prepared to handle them. It may sound negative, but it's actually empowering. And when you combine this with positive visualization, you build resilience and motivation. It also ties into a more modern idea, the law of attraction. What you focus on, you attract. This isn't magic. It's about aligning your attention, energy, and choices with the outcome you're aiming for. Imagine you just crushed an important presentation. You hear the applause. You see your colleagues nodding in approval. You feel proud, confident, ready for the next challenge. What are you wearing? What do you hear? How does it feel? The more vivid the mental picture, the more your brain adapts to make it a reality. Visualization helps you shift your focus from fear of failure to anticipation of success. It trains your mind to move from "what if I fail" to "what will it be like when I succeed?" And that shift, that's where real transformation begins. This shift is powerful. It moves you from avoidance to engagement, from hesitation to anticipation. When you regularly visualize positive outcomes, you begin to cultivate a mindset that naturally leans toward actions that bring those outcomes to life. Start small. Just a few minutes a day spent visualizing your goals, clearly, vividly, and with intention, can reshape the way you think, feel, and act. Picture the scene, the environment, the sensations, the emotions tied to success. The more real it feels in your mind, the more achievable it becomes in reality. Now consider this. How often do we tell ourselves, "I'll do it tomorrow"? Tomorrow becomes a catch-all for everything we're avoiding. Our plans, our hopes, our growth. But what if you shifted that mindset? What if you leaned into the power of now and made this moment the foundation of your progress? Tomorrow is the busiest day of the week, yet it never shows up. It's an illusion, a convenient delay. But waiting for the right time often becomes a cycle of waiting forever. The truth is, there is no perfect moment. There's only now, and that's more than enough. This idea is echoed in Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Confine yourself to the present." That simple wisdom holds the key, because the present is all we ever truly have, and it's where real change begins. Even the smallest action taken now builds momentum. Psychologists have shown that even just starting, reduces the mental resistance to a task. This is part of what's known as the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain remembers unfinished tasks and urges you to complete them. That nudge is your mind's way of guiding you forward. By taking that first step, you activate this internal mechanism for follow-through. Carl Jung once said, You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. That truth is simple but profound. Your actions, no matter how small, are what define you. Not your intentions, not your promises. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now to move closer to my goals? It doesn't need to be monumental. Draft an email. Jot down an idea. Tidy your space. Every small step stacks. And over time, those small steps become big wins. Taking action now also breaks the loop of procrastination and perfectionism. Waiting for the stars to align is a trap. Progress doesn't need perfect conditions. It just needs a beginning. Perfection is an illusion that stalls progress. Instead, embrace the imperfect start. There's real wisdom in the saying, done is better than perfect. The simple act of doing, regardless of outcome, moves you further toward your goals than endless planning ever could. When you root yourself in the present moment, your true point of power, you step into alignment with a timeless Stoic truth. Epictetus taught us to focus only on what lies within our control. This mindset simplifies choices, boosts confidence, and reminds us we have the power to act here and now. Now picture this. You've just powered through a long report, or finally organized your workspace. What's next? This is where the real magic of productivity comes in. Rewarding yourself. It's not just about checking boxes on a to-do list. It's about making the process enjoyable, sustainable, and human. By weaving rewards into your routine, you create a rhythm that celebrates effort, not just results. Because let's be honest, who doesn't appreciate a little treat for hard work well done? Incorporating rewards isn't just a pleasant pause. It's a powerful strategy for building a healthy work ethic, one that acknowledges effort and fuels future motivation. This isn't just self-indulgence. It's rooted in behavioral science. When we reward positive action, we reinforce the habit. It's classical conditioning, the same principle that B.F. Skinner explored, to understand how consequences shape behavior. But let's go deeper. The ancients understood this too. While Stoicism doesn't explicitly promote rewards, it does emphasize presence, appreciation, and excellence in daily actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the quiet satisfaction that comes from doing your duty and living by your principles. Seen through this lens, rewarding yourself becomes a celebration of discipline. You set a goal, you meet it, you honor the effort it took, and choosing the right reward matters. It should uplift and inspire. Finished a tough task? Take a mindful coffee break. Enjoy an episode of your favorite show. These small moments of enjoyment create powerful positive associations, making it easier to return to your work with energy and enthusiasm. Even Carl Jung saw the value in this. He believed in embracing all aspects of our psyche, including the joy of success, as essential to a whole and balanced self. So when you reward yourself, you're doing more than recharging. You're affirming your worth, acknowledging your capabilities, and reinforcing the belief that your effort matters. That mindset is where sustained motivation lives. Rewards play a powerful role in sustaining momentum. They help break up the monotony of long stretches of focused work, which is essential for keeping your creativity and productivity alive. A well-placed reward gives you something to look forward to. It makes the grind through less exciting tasks a bit more bearable. Think of it like setting a rhythm, periods of deep focus, followed by moments of real rest. This pattern doesn't just improve performance, it makes the process more enjoyable. But here's the key balance. The reward should never become the escape. It's a finish line, not a detour. This is where self-discipline comes in, a cornerstone in Stoic philosophy, and just as respected in modern psychology. It's about putting effort first, holding the line, and letting the reward come as a result, not as a way to avoid the work. And that's the point, to make your productivity sustainable and enjoyable. Each task you finish moves you closer to something bigger. Each reward is a quiet celebration of that progress. So stay intentional, stay steady, And when you pause to enjoy a win, no matter how small, know that it matters. Now, if you'd like to go deeper, check out one of the suggested videos on your screen. There's more to explore, more to learn. Thank you for being here with us. At Stoic Mindset Mastery, keep moving forward, keep striving, and above all, keep honoring the journey.